Welcome back to Frederick Advice Givers, episode 148. I have to my right here, your left, Christine Van Bloom with the Kitchen Studio Cooking School.
Yep.
Here in Frederick, in the Buckystown building next to, used to be the old Hampton Inn. What is that now?
It is.
Is
The
it still the
Hampton
Hampton
Inn.
Inn?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's right on 270 as you're driving up or down out of Frederick down to Urbana, down to Gaithersburg, Germantown. It's going to be on your right as you're going down Frederick, right off of 85. So Christine was introduced to us, as many of our podcast guests are, through Leanne Little, who's a mutual friend of both of ours.
Love Leanne Little.
How can you not?
You should know Leanne Little. She's awesome.
So she was on about 45 episodes ago.
Oh my gosh.
Great person, great heart. She's a pillar in the Walkersville and the Frederick community, so we love Leanne. And she said, you gotta talk to Christine.
Yeah,
so
she's so great.
that's why we're here today.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
So tell us a little bit about your backstory, not necessarily about your business yet, but your backstory, who you are, where you grow up.
I'm a good old Pennsylvania girl.
You are, okay.
Deep down. So grew up in PA, outside of Harrisburg, Mechanicsburg, straight up 15, easy breezy. And then went to college in PA, Kutztown University, which was awesome, the perfect place, and moved to Manhattan as soon as I graduated college. It was one thing my dad said I couldn't do after I graduated, so it's the one thing.
So you did it?
Like a hot second after I graduated. Right. And I lived in New York. I lived in Manhattan for about 7.5 years.
What did you do there?
I worked in advertising.
Really?
So yeah, it was really funny. I took a job making, $17,000 a year, and I was so proud of myself. And I was in the sub-basement in a big skyscraper near the UN. So it wasn't even the basement. We had to look at the bike messengers to see what the weather was outside because we were so far underground. Yeah. But it was great. And I worked in, it's really funny, a totally obsolete industry. Now I worked at a dub house. No, I know, right? I worked at a dub house. We made videotape copies of commercials for ad agencies and then mailed them to all the TV stations all over the country. Wow. Like totally doesn't exist now. Right. So I feel like a dinosaur. But other than that, I then got a job at an ad agency. I worked on Hasbro toys, like G.I. Joe and My Little Pony and Sharp Electronics. But I didn't have one of those sexy ad jobs. I had one of those suck out your soul ad jobs. So I worked that, and then shortly after I got married, I decided to go to culinary school at night. So I worked my ad job during the day, and then I went to culinary school a couple nights a week till like midnight.
Are we still in Manhattan now?
Yeah. So well, I always said, and it's super snotty of me to say, but I always said I didn't leave Pennsylvania to live in Queens. Not that there's anything wrong with Queens, but the boroughs are a different thing than when I lived there. So I was like, I wanted to be in the thick of everything, and as poor as a church mouse, but I loved it. I loved the energy of New York, and it was really fun going to culinary school. And I mean, advertising is kind of a fun, even in the soul-sucking jobs, there are fun parts of it. But I did that, and then we've been here for a long time. We have been here almost 22 years. Okay,
so why did you choose Frederick or specifically Walkersville, right?
Well, no, so my husband and I live downtown. We're near Hood College. Okay. We bought like the crappiest house we could buy. Right. So it's still not great, but but when we moved down here, I had never been to Frederick. I'd never heard of Frederick. Okay. When I was growing up, we were PA centric, and my husband's brother lived in Columbia. Okay. And I had just had our son, and it was one of those, it was time to leave. We didn't have enough money, and my son was horrific. He's awesome now, but he was just, the new baby thing did not sit well, and we wanted a little more space. And my husband's brother called all of the counties to find out who was hiring teachers. My husband teaches English at Walkersville High. Oh, really? And yeah, he's been there forever, and he's so good, and he loves it. That's funny. But we were like, oh, okay, we'll go. The letter we got from Frederick County seemed like they really liked teachers. I don't know that that was accurate at the time, but he got an interview, and he came down, and we were here for the interview and then moved here. That was it. Awesome. There was no checking it out, looking around. I mean, for God's sake, the internet wasn't even great
Right. So
back then.
Has your husband been at Walkersville for 22 years?
Yeah. He was at the middle school for 2 years, and then he's been at the high school the rest of the time.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's pretty great.
Awesome.
Don't tell him I said that.
So English.
English.
The whole
Yeah.
time. Cool.
Yeah. So I worked in advertising here for a little bit, and then that was not awesome. They were nice people. That was all good, but it wasn't
Were you at the one downtown?
one of the ones downtown. Okay. And they were really great people. It just wasn't the right place or the right time for me. And I knew I wanted to do this.
Okay.
So
So you've been around for so we said 13 years?
We've been here 22 years. Here, kitchen studio, 13 years.
So you've been at the
summer.
kitchen studio for 13 years.
Yeah.
So you were kind of on the front edge of all the cooking, prepared meals, right?
I was. We were. I knew when I took my first cooking class for my professional program that what I wanted to do was teach. Because restaurant people are awesome, but they're insane.
Right.
I mean, bless their hearts. I was newly married. I had a baby. I knew that was not the life for me. And I really like people.
Okay.
And that's the part of my business that I really love. I love talking to the people and making them feel great.
Right.
And that's, you can't do that in a restaurant in the back of the house. That's just a brutal kind of go. And catering is awesome, but there are plenty of people who excel at that around here. I didn't want anything to do with that. This is what I'm good at. The teaching of the cooking classes, that's what I'm really good at.
Awesome. So let's take it back to a personal level again.
All right.
What's the last purchase that you or your family splurged on, either professionally or personally?
It's totally easy. I bought myself a Mini Cooper. Because seriously, I'm a stereotypical.
So how do you get this? There's 4 people we interviewed today, and all 4 bought cars.
See,
all 4 bought cars.
I bought a Mini Cooper because I am the stereotypical Mini Cooper driver, right?
I love it.
Middle-aged woman,
I love it.
I just, I always make sure everybody else is taken care of. And we hit a point here, and I was like, it's not something I do. I don't like a splurge for me is paying full price for a shirt instead of waiting until it goes on sale. So I bought one. I bought a used one, and I had it for 2 years, got it all paid off, and I was like, no, I want a brand new one. So I traded in and got a brand new one. I guess that's the thing, because they're, that's a
cars or Mini
pricey.
Coopers?
Well, Mini Coopers are awesome.
Yeah.
But it's kind of your big.
Well, it is. In the last 4 interviews we've had,
that's so funny.
Everyone, a Jeep, I forget what we had. But yes.
Everybody's so smart.
Apparently. So I know being a business owner, you're constantly working, constantly innovating, constantly thinking about new ways to get clientele and to help and new recipes. You're always on the cutting edge, right?
I try.
But on the flip side of that, what's a hobby or interest that's outside of work that you enjoy doing?
Well, I mean, I read a lot.
Okay.
But I mean,
for pleasure or business? Because I read, but I read to learn stuff.
I read a lot more nonfiction business kind of stuff than novels. Right. So that's kind of work anyway. I love doing artistic things, partially because I'm a terrible artist. Like I'm the worst at it, but I'm convinced I'm going to be great someday. So I love, my house is the tragic remains of all the little crafty things I've tried. But, I've tried painting, and I've tried, I don't know, everything. I feel like I've tried every artistic thing. I did just go golfing for the first time, and it was awesome.
You enjoyed it?
I'm trying to fall hard into my stereotype right now. Right. But yeah, I did. I really liked it. So maybe it was
interesting to take golf up when you don't start at a young age, because it's not easy.
Woman.
Were you an athlete growing up?
Oh my God, no.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, no, not a day of my life. And I've tried that too.
Right.
I've run the marathon. I've done I have not run a step since I did that. I'm like, no.
You ran a marathon?
Oh yeah, I did.
Which
one?
Well,
I like to challenge myself. No, I did Marine Corps.
Oh, okay. Well,
I did
go big or
Marine
go home,
Corps,
right?
and well, I tried to get. I was like, I'll apply to get in. Nobody gets in, and then I'll get the points for saying I tried, and then I got in, and I had to do it.
And you had to.
So I did it, and I mean, it was tragically long, but
Awesome.
I did it.
All right. So when you wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
being a business owner, what's inside of you that keeps you going throughout the day? What's your drive? What's your why?
Oh, it can be so hard sometimes
You think?
to take that why, right? I mean, don't you get to a point where you're kind of trudging through concrete or,
Yeah.
right? What really gets me going, I love to have a positive influence, and I love, it sounds so stupid, but I like when I get to help other people with things. And it's not, I've consulted with some business owners around town and helped them with things. That gives me a real charge. But I think my why, in all honesty, is probably the staff that I have here.
Okay.
And everybody's part-time, like they're all super, super part-time. Like, oh my gosh, they're so great. Like they're way better than I deserve. They are just always giving everything that they can here. And I have a bunch of people that work 2 jobs and they're here, but I have folks who've been here since we opened.
Oh, wow.
I have folks who've been here for 12 years, 2 of them, one that's been here 10, and then a couple that have been here, one's been here a year. Okay. She's our lease, but we even have a mother-daughter combo that works here. So I like when we're all kind of grooving together. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That I think that's really.
All right, so we've kind of touched on it, but tell us like what you do here.
Okay, so what we do here are just recreational cooking classes.
So they're classes.
They're classes.
Not prepared meals or not?
No, we did prepared meals back right after we opened. Okay. We did that for a little while. But now all I do are some form of recreational cooking classes.
You said you have students that come in?
Yeah, we have tons. We're getting ready to start summer camp season. Right. So we've got 200 kids that'll come in this summer for summer camps. And I love that because I always think we're like a true enrichment camp where they come in and we cook our faces off, regardless of how old they are or what we're doing. Right. We really throw real food at them. We do a ton of cooking together. We do corporate team buildings. We have a group coming in tonight, corporate group. Those are super fun because everybody's true nature comes out in the kitchen.
And they're allowed to bring wine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're totally BYOB.
Well, we might have to do that then.
Yeah.
Might have to get my
We're totally BYOB, but of course not for the summer camps.
Right.
Although
for the kids.
sometimes that would be great. But
at the end of the day, you might need a. Yeah.
So, and then we do regular recreational cooking classes, and we'll do private classes too. But everything is based on that idea. So there's no catering, there's no prepared foods, there's nothing that doesn't relate to the teaching of the classes.
All right, Christine, so what's one piece of advice that you would give a entrepreneur or business owner that's just starting out?
Oh gosh, it's also cliche, but it's cliche for a reason, right? I think so much of it is that you're supposed to go with your gut now, right? Mm-hmm. Like everybody wants to go with their gut. And I agree. I absolutely agree with that. That's how I got started here. But I think you have to go with your gut with the proper research and the proper tools. Like so many people go with that, do what you love and the money will follow. Right. But they forget that it's a lot of freaking hard work, when you go. Right. So I love to go with my gut. And it's been good sometimes, it's been bad others. But I think go with your gut, but do your research and know what you're doing. I don't like kind of wispy, I'll give this a try. This will be great.
Well,
like I like to know it's really hard.
Right, it's hard work.
It's incredibly hard work. So I think that's what gut with research.
Okay. On the flip side, maybe what's one piece of advice that somebody gave you that didn't work out like they thought it would or you thought it would?
I know. All right. When we opened in 2005, and I was here about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and I went to growth. What can I do? Trying to figure it all out. And we had started doing some of the meal assembly business, and I had hired a couple of different consultants for things, and I remember the one had told me that I should stop teaching classes and I should only do the meal assembly thing that we did, which wasn't the core or the crux. That wasn't why I had opened the business. I had opened the business because I liked the people. And I remember thinking about it because I was trying to be driven by the money. But what I forgot was he didn't have any vested interest in who I was. He was just looking at the business and the money. And it was trying to get me to go away from the core of why I had opened the business. And it worked out because after the recession hit, all of those meal assembly places, there were tons of them. They all folded.
Yeah,
there's one in Urbana, and she's awesome, but they, empowered her for pushing through. Too. Yeah, she is. But everybody folded. So it was not remaining true to my core beliefs.
Well, plus almost like the taxi cab, like the Hello Freshes came along.
Yeah.
And those,
which I love, by the way.
I
love Hello Fresh.
We get them weekly.
I do too.
And yeah, I mean,
I love it.
They're great. So that kind of the meal assembly has, they had a short lifespan. They had a 3 or 4 year lifespan, and then the recession hit, and then now, having a meal shipped to your house
it's the thing.
It's easy.
It's way easy. So, and price wise, it's good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I like Hello Fresh.
That's what we use.
I do.
I love it.
I do too.
All right. So in the last 3 years, what's one choice that you made that's led us to where you are today and sitting here on Advice Givers?
I would say things I've done in the past 3 years. We're in kind of this quirky space right now. We're in this
physically.
Yeah.
You're at the bottom.
It's an odd.
We pulled up and like.
Yeah, and I mean 13 years here, right? So we're in this kind of quirky space, and there have been opportunities to move downtown or to become a kitchenware shop, and in addition do this. And I've thought about that, and we've instead really over the past 3 years done small changes here to open the space up a little bit to make it more of kind of one big room. But we've done more of that and trying to live within our footprint rather than expand and get stuck with a much higher rent. I feel there's a lot of uncertainty right now in kind of the
economy,
everything in the world. But with the economy, I worry about it. And because we're at kind of an odd location right across from the hotel and in the ground floor of an office building, our rent is manageable. And by working within the confines of the space, I haven't increased that. And that's allowed me to expand our summer camps. And that's allowed me to expand our classes. So it doesn't feel like there are a billion people in here, but we've been able to expand the classes a little bit without expanding our costs.
So how have you keep mentioning your summer camps, right?
Yeah, well, that's because we're gearing up.
Have you partnered with anybody? Have you partnered with Blessings in Backpack or Children of Incarcerated Parents or any of those? Like,
no.
How do people find out about your summer camps?
Well, I mean, now, I hate to say it, but it's a lot of word of mouth. We of course have it on our website and we advertise, and we've done small little donations to Blessings in a Backpack, but it hasn't been anything that we've been able to expand upon. That's something we're looking at for the fall to figure out how to increase our charitable giving. Right. But for summer camps, it becomes all consuming. I mean, is
it a week long? Is it 2 week long? Is it a month long?
Week long. Okay. Longest camp we do is 5 hours. It's a lot. It's a lot. And we go hard. Right. I mean, I'm not great at sitting. Right. So we kind of go hard the whole way through. But it's great. The kids are exhausted. They learn a ton. Right. But by September, I'm ready to sit down and get pedicures all the time. See Leanne, get a massage. Yeah. It's a lot. It really is. It's a tremendous amount of work, but it's fun. Cool. So.
All right. So you're episode 148. So I've stood or sat behind the mic across from other entrepreneurs and business owners, asking questions, learning about you, about your business, about how to grow my business potentially. I learned so much from asking questions, so I want to flip the script
Awesome.
and have you ask me a question.
All right. So you've done a lot of these.
Mhm.
And how long have you been doing them?
3 years.
Okay. So what makes you think that somebody would be a great person for you to talk to? What are you looking for in the people that you talk to? Because I've listened to some of them and they're really fun.
They are.
Yeah,
It's
you
light,
get a lot out of it.
Well, first of all, you should be an entrepreneur, business owner. You should be somebody in the community. We've also interviewed, we have the Impact Club. Leanne's a member of the Impact Club.
Yep.
We've also interviewed some of the charities, nonprofits that have been on, presented at our events, the Impact Club. So it's a way, basically anybody that has a voice, that is looking for a platform to share their story with the community. So the first 118, 19 were all audio format.
Okay.
Okay, so they were all on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, which we're still on now. And we got a great following there. But I kind of saw the evolution, kind of like you saw the prepared meals going by the wayside. I kind of saw the evolution of video. Okay, and so what we're going to do after today is go back, edit it. We'll have like a 3-minute teaser, 2 to 4 minute teaser of this interview that we'll have on Facebook, that we'll have on YouTube, that will tag you, everything that will help share your story. So that teaser, hopefully, if people don't want to listen to a 20, 25-minute interview, they can learn with Rock's editing, they can learn about you, and in that 3 minutes, we'll have thousands of views of people that didn't know about the Kitchen Studio Cooking School here on Buckystown Pike. So basically, anybody that wants to help share their story, we're here to help promote.
You like the people.
I do.
Yeah.
And I've got to meet so many wonderful people in my business, what I do to make a living. I've kind of unlocked that door of how to get more business. It's through telling stories. It's through meeting people. So I want to put together a platform to help others share their story. So that's what Advice Givers is all about, is giving you a platform.
Oh, that's so great.
Thanks.
Oh, that's good.
Thanks. All right, so what failure or loss has helped mold you and set you up for your success? It could be personal, it could be business-wise, or it could be a why that, hey, this is real. I really wanted to do the cooking school because
I really wanted. So my kids are grown. My son just graduated college last week. So I know he's paying his own bills.
Yeah, there you go.
And my daughter is a sophomore at Towson.
Okay.
But I wanted to be present for them.
Okay.
We had, when they were really young, we had an in-home, like we would take the kids to an in-home sitter. And she was amazing. She did a much better job raising my children at that age than I did. And I looked at this as a way to have flexibility and still do what I love.
Okay.
So I thought maybe regular business hours, like having where I'm open, free every night, free every weekend, because I work a lot of nights and weekends, would be great. And then I realized what I really crave is the flexibility. And my father passed away a couple years ago, and my mother is ill and has Alzheimer's. So she's doing okay right now, but one of the reasons this business works for me is because it gives me the flexibility to be there for her. I have 2 brothers, and they're awesome.Ey're just really
mom in Pennsylvania?
Great guys. She's in PA.
Okay.
So luckily it's a pretty straight shot right at 15, but I need the flexibility that I have here and the amazing staff that I have here who totally backs me up and picks up the pieces and does all the stuff, so that I can help my mom in this phase that she's in, which is awful and terrible.
Sorry.
So, that's like maybe that's the hidden why, about why you do it, because when it all hits the fan, you kind of have to, make your choices. And I guess this allows me to make different choices. You know what I mean? This allows me to adapt and go and still help her and still have an income and still do what I love and still work with great people, but keeping the core in mind that, you know, she is where my time has to go now.
Right. Okay, so where, Christine, do you see yourself in 3 years and then in 10 years?
10 years, I want to be sitting on a beach somewhere where somebody's bringing me fruity
Okay, I love
beverages.
that. I love that.
Oh my God, please. Or
Grandkids?
Or,
You want grandkids?
well, that's my kids' thing. I mean, of course,
I'll tell you what.
someday. But I don't want to. I mean, my kids are 19 and 22.
My
I got
parents
time.
love being grandparents. It's so
Well, it's supposed to be
it's
great.
so different
Yeah.
seeing, like, you know, my dad was really strict and my
Yeah.
mom was really this way. With my kids,
They're great.
they're just like, oh, whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It's funny.
No, I mean, I don't want to push them. I want them to not need my money anymore. That's
Right.
what I really want for my kids.
Right.
And my kids work really hard. But yes, but I'm gonna put a pool in and sit in the backyard having bonbons, or I really want to. I guess here for 3 years, I want to figure out a way to expand our offerings online so that I can have even a little more flexibility. And I'm definitely up for fruity drinks and sitting by the pool.
Right.
You know, day drinking and day napping
Right.
is luscious. So you don't get to do enough of that.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So tell our listeners, viewers, where you're located, how they get a hold of you, website, Facebook, all that kind of fun stuff.
Awesome. We're at 5301 Buckystown Pike. We're in the same building as Wholesale Diamond.
You can say it. Long and Foster.
I was going to say Bach.
Okay,
Because
Bach.
I know Jennifer Grove. She's
Jennifer's
so
great.
nice.
We love Jennifer.
She's really great.
Yep.
So we're in that building. We're right across from the Hampton Inn. Been here forever. We're on the web at kitchenstudiofrederick.com. Facebook, we're at The Kitchen Studio. Instagram, which I love. I love Instagram.
It's great.
I do. I
It's
love
great,
it.
yeah.
I go like Twitter when I want to get angry,
Right.
and Instagram to look at food and puppies.
There you go.
It's pretty much. But we're the Kitchen Studio CS there, and I think on Twitter as well.
Okay.
So, and sometimes we'll throw special offers out to people. We're taking it easy in June with our classes, but we'll have our summer schedule out next week, and we'll hit July and August, and we're pretty excited. We're ready to dive in.
Awesome. Christine, thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank you
I
so
appreciate it.
much. I really appreciate it.
Listeners and viewers, I hope you enjoyed Christine Van Bloom's interview as much as I did.
You're
Episode
sweet.
148 of Frederick Advice Givers. And we are out.